think something that's constant in life is that we as people favor routine. We don't like change that much, at least from my experience. Adapting to different situations is hard, and drastic changes or life altering experiences, things that result in your current situation drastically changing, usually are hard to get used to or adapt to. Um, Oftentimes in life, people get used to situations they find themselves in. What happens is people get comfortable, and when you're in a place of comfort, or when you're in a situation you are used to, you you tend to get in routine and the day-to-day pattern and routine, and expecting the same thing every day. It it becomes a force of habit to expect that. So when we go through changes, or when something happens in our life, to things end up being differently than what we're used to, it's hard to adapt to that and hard to get used to that. So, like for instance, for the large majority of past couple of years, I've always had this image in my mind that the people I know now are going to be the people that I know forever. The friends I make are going to be the friends that I have for my entire life, but that's not necessarily true. And statistically speaking, you're less likely to have the same connections when you're older as you had when you were, say, in high school, or um, people you meet when you're younger, you don't necessarily stay in contact with when you get older. So I think this draws back to a couple weeks ago when when I went to go see Minecraft in theaters with friends. A lot of people couldn't show up, and my best friend, I asked him if he could go, and he already went, and he said that he wasn't going, and uh, I was let down, for one, that he couldn't go, because he's my best friend, and I really wanted him to be there, but he couldn't be there. And so that that moment kind of made me realize that people you know aren't necessarily always going to be around all the time. And the second thing I think of is a few weeks ago, some people from school, they drove by and they waved at me, and I waved back at them, and I said hi. We had this little interaction, and then they drove off and I kept walking. So it made me realize that I know people now that I didn't know a year ago, or even 8 months ago. So, so in life, you're constantly meeting new people, and you will leave old friends behind. So relationships and friendships, they change, and you'll make new ones and lose old ones. So that's something that you just have to um, accept and get used to, is that you're not always going to be around the people you know. So, and another thing I wanted to talk about is from a different sort of on a similar on a similar subject, but sort of a different perspective of it. Um, my friends online that I've known for the past 5 years, we've lost touch and haven't been doing as much stuff together, and that's fine, because we're just headed in different directions, and it's perfectly fine to drift apart and not remain friends anymore. I mean, if there's any future projects, we could always still work together, and we can stay in touch if we. But we're not ever going to be as close as we used to be, I don't think. So, um, and another thing that I wanted to bring up in this video is that people change, personalities change, life changes all the time. Take me for instance. I started this channel as an aspiring 13-year-old that wanted to be a rec tuber because when I started the channel, it was at the end of 2020, and or maybe it was 2021. It was when COVID was still. It was when COVID was still at its peak, and everybody was segregated and quarantined, and people couldn't be around each other. There was this large disconnect socially between everybody, and I found Rec Room, and it was a way to get my thoughts out and get in touch with people that had similar points of view as I do, and have a similar outlook on life. And it was just fun to socialize on an app that was user friendly and had a creative community. So for a while, that's what I wanted to do. But then as the years went by, more and more people stopped playing the game, and then there was more people that started to pick up the game, and the community shifted, and the game got updated, so things started changing. And for players that were around as long as I was, the change was hard to adapt to because it wasn't the same. It didn't feel the same. So you drift away from stuff like that. And I think my perspective on life has also changed within the past 2 years. I had a lot of time to think and reflect, which is kind of why I haven't posted very often as of lately. And my priorities have shifted, and my goals have shifted. So I know more what I want to do instead of what I felt like I wanted to do back then. I just have a different direction I want to go now. So you see, this all roots back to what I said as people change. I am not the same person that I was 5 years ago. So I think the point I'm trying to make here is that the only constant in life is that nothing is constant. Everything is temporary, and everything changes all the time. So getting used to a situation or holding on to things that are just better to let go of could be hard. And it's a weird thing to try and come to terms with, because comfort and stability are things that are favorable, and a lot of people really like routine, and change is hard, but that happens in life. And I think it's good to always try and look forward to the next thing instead of dwelling on the past. For a long time, I was thinking about the past, and I wanted things to go back to where they used to be because I didn't really like the way things were now. But I feel like I've had enough time to cope with certain things that were hard for me to figure out. And moving forward, I really want to actually start making projects and moving towards my goals. And for one, I just want to post more often on this channel, because I know that I haven't. I know that I've really been inconsistent. I said that I was back, and then I just didn't post. So moving for moving from here forward, I would just like to post more often. There's um, some videos that I'd like to make. I want to start my Minecraft series again because on the original series I was doing, A, it wasn't edited very well, B, there wasn't a whole lot of content, and C, the world that I was playing Minecraft on was a modded world that my buddy Alex started. So that world actually got deleted. So that's why I stopped posting Minecraft, is because I had to start completely fresh. So I want to start a new Minecraft series, and I want to make a series where I play all the Call of Duty games. I already started that, but another thing I'd like to do is to just post more, like videos like this where I'm just talking. I'd love to just sit down and talk and record to get my thoughts off my mind. And I want to focus on my podcast that I started and actually get that running. And yeah, just future projects, short films, and actual videos. So that's about it. Thanks.